Hey coaches, today I'm going to talk to you about scripting. There are quite a few different scripts that we use in Beachbody. Some of them are provided by corporate, some of them are stuff that we made up on our own. Some of them will be things that you'll be doing on your own. Many of you will create your own scripts over time. What I wanted to talk to you about today is the script that we use when someone reaches out to us after possibly we posted something that asked them to talk to us, or simply they saw maybe you're posting Shakeology, you're posting your workout pictures, or they're just generally interested in what you're doing, whether this be on your personal profile, later down the road when you make a fitness page, business page, I should say, things of that nature. You're going to find people who are going to come in contact with you who are going to ask you questions. They're going to message you on Facebook, they're going to post on your wall, they're going to send you emails, they might even send you text messages. But my goal for you is that we can manage to really hone in what you're saying to people, stay in control of the conversation, and really increase the likelihood of you making a sale versus sending someone running away. Now, a lot of times people do get uncomfortable using scripts with people they know or just in general. That is understandable. However, until you have practiced using the scripts that we're providing, I recommend not changing them up too much. If you don't like the placement of a smiley face, or, you don't want to end with, talk to you soon, you'd rather say something different, go ahead and change it. For the most part, each line in the script has a purpose. And my point of this video is to explain to you what each message is for, and what each part of each message, the purpose behind it. So that after you've been using them for a while, and you can see how they work, and you understand the purpose of each section, you'll be able to tweak them to fit your personality a little bit better. So there's a document in your group called Help Me Not Puke on Strangers. It's also available in the main team page, so if you're watching this video in a different context, it's still called the same thing. There's actually a recording of a call that I did for another team that kind of goes over it, but I was under a time crunch with that, and it's not as thorough as I'd like it to be for training purposes, so we will be going over it here today. I apologize, I'm going to be looking over there a lot because my notes are here, but the script is there. So just go with it, you'll be fine. Basically, I have a 7-step script, and now I realize that you're probably like, are you kidding me? That's a lot of steps. And yes it is. But ideally, you won't be using all of these steps on every person. It's possible you might, but most likely you will not. So step 1 is when someone reaches out to you and they say something like, how did you lose all the weight? What is Shakeology? What workout are you doing? I like following your page. Can you help me? Are you a trainer? These are the kind of questions that you're going to receive. The longer that you are a Beachbody coach, you'll find more information or more questions like this will show up in your inbox. The very first message that we go through, no matter what the question is simply thanking them for reaching out to you, acknowledging their question, and then taking back control of the conversation. So if someone did reach out to you and they said, what is Shakeology? You would simply say, thank you so much for asking. Can I ask why you're interested in Shakeology? I always like to do a little acknowledgement of their question. So I might say something like, I'd be excited to tell you more. Obviously, I'm not going to give any information at that point. So this one in the example in the script says, hi Jane, thanks so much for reaching out. I'm so glad to hear from you, and I'd love to tell you about Shakeology. Can I ask what made you want to reach out today? I'm excited to learn more. At that point, I've acknowledged that they did ask me a question. I'm not blowing them off. I've personalized it slightly by including their name, and I've thanked them for reaching out, letting them know that it's appreciated, that it is an honor that they reached out to ask for my help. That's always the first message. This never changes unless they provide you a long list of reasons why they're already interested. It's quite possible what you'll receive is a message saying, hey, I want to know more about Shakeology. I've been working on my weight for X number of months. I'm stuck. I've hit a plateau. I've done this much on my own. Here's what I've been eating. And here's what I've been doing. I'm stuck. In that case, you already know why they're interested. They've provided you that information. But 99% of the time, that won't be the case. They won't give you that information right away. So you'll need to get that out of them. Now, depending on whether they provided you that information from the beginning or not, depends on where you go next, right? If you got all that information in the very first message, you can jump right to step two. If not, you're going to wait for a reply from step one, and you're going to go to message two. Now, message two, the goal of message two is simply thank them again for answering whatever it was that they answered for you. You know, they may be a complete stranger and they might not have been prepared to be answering your questions. So we do appreciate that they're sharing with us. I always recommend relating to them as best you can and really saying that you get it, that maybe you've been there in some arena, finding something in their experience that you can relate to, and then lead them toward the next step of whatever it is you think is appropriate for them. So I always include a thank you. So the next message starts with, thank you so much for sharing that with me. It makes it so much easier when people are open. Just want to acknowledge them for that, right? If you'd like to read my story so you can get a better feel for me, you can read that at. And I always recommend that your story be located either on a Facebook note, on a blog, somewhere else. One, so that you're not retelling it constantly. Two, that it can be something that you can provide to people without putting it in an email, because honestly, it's going to be quite long, and nobody wants to see an email that long in their inbox. But if you have a nice, neat link to it, people might pop over there and read it when they have a chance. In the meantime, they still are following what you're doing on your side of the conversation. So, yes, go ahead, read my story, but immediately after that, I jump right back into what I would like to talk about. So, I go into, I must say, based on everything you've said so far, I think it'd be perfect for online support groups that I run. I know we've just met, but have you ever seen my posts about those? Can I send you some information? So what I've done here is I've answered their question about my journey, but I've really taken back more control of how we can help them. I'm really focusing on what we can do for them. I'm just not talking about myself at all. You guys have learned this already a million times, not talking about yourself, right? So, for the most part, they'll say yes, because you've acknowledged them, you've acknowledged that you're listening to them, and that you have something that might benefit them in some way. So, what I do is when they come back and say yes, I send them something very, very short and to the point. Sweet, I'm so glad you're interested. So here's the deal. We're doing a small group challenge online. I always mention that's online because that confuses people. With a select number of people who are going to make a great fit. Some exclusivity, right? Commitment is 60 days of a workout program. My favorite meal replacement shake. And the challenge group accountability on Facebook. Notice I haven't provided them any sort of exact information about what program it is or which Shakeology, any of that stuff, because that's just, they don't really know that right now. Right now, we're still focusing on what we're going to do for them. And then I let them know that we are going to give them a program recommendation. And I ask them, does this sound like something that would benefit you? And you may have noticed that we're on message 3, and every single time I've asked a question. Can I ask what made you reach out? Can I send you some more information? Doesn't this sound like something that would benefit you? What I'm doing is I'm getting them used to saying yes to me. It comes a little bit more easily to them later if they're used to saying yes. So by message 4, they're usually coming back and going either yes or I'm not sure, and they'll have questions. Well, how much is it? Well, can I be in Canada? Well, can I, whatever, they're going to have questions at this point. What I always do at that point is if they do have additional questions, I would say 90% of the time, my response is going to be like, I would love to answer those questions for you. It's completely based on the answers to your questionnaire and what you already have at home. So I will get them answered as soon as I have your questionnaire filled out. And then I'll put the message in. If they don't come back with any questions, then that line's unnecessary, and I might take that part out. So number 4 is going to be, I'm so glad you agreed, because obviously they said yes if I left that in. If they didn't say yes, then don't say that, right? You guys are adults, you can figure that out. I would love to get you the details and cost information. That's totally based on what you already have at home. Some people have everything they need, others need to make a purchase, but my coaching is always free, because that's usually what I set to get them to respond to me. Just answer these last few questions, and I'll get you all of the info ASAP. Now, you'll notice there's 3, 6, 8 questions. The idea is that at some point during the conversation, for the most part, they've probably answered some of these. You've probably already know some of the things that they attempted didn't work, or things that they might have physical limitations. They might have said, well, I hurt my back and it's causing me a problem. That's why I'm gaining weight. Things like that. If they've already responded to it, remove those questions. You don't want them, one, thinking you're not paying attention to them. Two, being put off by the sheer magnitude of the number of questions. They're like, oh my God, it's going to take me forever. And three, you don't want them to be repeating themselves and taking longer to answer your stuff when you already have the information. You could be closing the sale a little faster. I always ask them to friend me on Facebook at this point if we haven't gotten there already, simply because that's a great gauge to see who's read it. And if we fall out after this point, because maybe they do just, it's too many questions for them to answer, I'm now friends with them on Facebook, and they can keep up with what's going on with my life, and I can, run on their wall when it's their birthday. I might like a picture of their kids, put them on a prospecting list, etc. Now, I always acknowledge how much I've asked of them, and promise that it is really necessary that we do answer all these questions. So the last little paragraph is just acknowledging that I have asked a lot of them and letting them know that I promise it's going to be worth it, sort of thing. Then the message that I give when I get the responses back is I tell them, thank you for waiting. Of course, that's me. I usually do make people wait a little while because I'm busy. If you're better at being a coach than I am and actually answer your emails, then you might not need to say that. But either way, thank them. And then thank them for answering the questions. Again, you are probably a stranger at this point. You've maybe known them, or maybe you went to high school with them 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, that's not necessarily, you guys aren't really on a, hey, let me tell you about my life basis. It might have been really weird for them to answer these questions for you. So I let them know it did help me pick a program for them, and I appreciated it. And then I put in a program recommendation. So I actually have a lot of my program recommendations copied and pasted. I've done so many that when I do a good one, I save it. So I have a long list of possible program recommendations. So I let them know that I think would be perfect for the upcoming challenge. And then I tell them, the program I'm recommending for you is, here's why, and this will include the Shakeology that will help you with, right? But every time you're going to put in that little bit about why and help you with, it's going to come directly from what they've provided you in their answers. Directly. You're going to be repeating some of it verbatim. It's going to seem a little silly, but it comes together because it shows that you were listening. It shows that you thought out the recommendation. So, for instance, I have one here that says, program I'm recommending for you is a Les Mills Pump program. This is hands down my favorite workout program of all time. And let's be real, I've tried a lot. Yeah, I can actually put this over here. What else did I spot? This is a barbell-based weightlifting program that uses rep effect to create the cardio benefits for fat loss and endurance, but has the toning and shaping results of a weight program that you are looking for. With the amazing music and motivating trainers to keep you from getting bored, you'll have plenty of exact instruction for your lifting. So obviously she told me that she gets bored easily, that she is worried about lifting on her own because she didn't quite have the form down, that she was looking for fat loss but wanted to tone. And she gave me all that information in her questionnaire. And then I said, this of course comes with the Shakeology included, which is going to help reduce the cravings for sweets and late night snacking, which I know are a trouble spot for you. It's also going to provide a fast, easy meal that is nutrient dense and all natural, but still provides an awesome energy. That's going to help you keep up with your workouts without taking anything artificial. So this allows me to put into place where she said her issues with food were. She told me sweets and late night snacking were a problem for her. And she told me that, she didn't want to take anything that wasn't all natural, right? So that was my repeating of her goals back to her. Then I acknowledge that I do read a lot of emails every day, and I do believe this is the right program for them, and ask if they are in. Now, at this point, this is the first time we've actually talked about products. So price is going to come up most likely. Now, honestly, no joke, you guys, most people don't ask. Because I built so much value through the process, they don't ask. But you're going to have people who ask. So for people who ask, I always am super open and positive about what the price is. But I build value in that answer as well. So sometimes they'll write back, I'm in. And you jump right down to 7. Absolutely. It's 7B that you would be using. if they just write back, I'm in, you're good, you're done, you're golden, you're closing the sale right there. If they write back and go, well, it sounds good, but how much is it? Which is a lot of the responses, right? I say, awesome question. The challenge includes your Shakeology, your full workout program, the fully customized room meal planner for only however much it is, right? $160, right? But I always put the name of the program. So if I recommend a Less Mills Pump, I would say it includes your full Less Mills Pump workout program and all of the equipment that you need, right? And then move on to the script for only $245. That not only includes your exclusive 25% off Challenger discount for being in a challenge with me, but it also comes with the bonus discs, lifetime disc replacement, a full 90-day money-back guarantee, and I do put 90-day specifically for Less Mills Pump and 60 for the other ones, right? And your free shipping. Crazy good value, right? So I get them to go, yeah, that is a good price. Wow. That, of course, gets you into the challenge group at no additional cost, as my coaching is always free. Because it is, right? We're not charging them a fee for that. You've got big goals, and we're going to get you there with a small investment. Again, that asks, are you in? At this point, they're going to say yes, or they're going to say no. If they say no, there's no way, then my recommendation is to tell them that you totally understand. You're not trying to get their lights turned off over it. No worries. Let's put you in my free accountability group for now. When I often will ask, when can we make this a priority? When do you think you'd be able to do it? So that I know when to follow back up with them. Because if they think it's going to take them a couple of months, cool. If they think maybe January next year, or if they think maybe never, then that's where we're at. So I like to know that for myself. So I have them from me on Facebook. I add them to my free accountability group. And they just kind of sit there until they're ready for the most part. And then if they say yes, at that point they're in, then I do, again, get them excited. A top paragraph in 7B is all about getting them excited. Again, it's keeping them stoked on what they are going to about to be experiencing. Send them a link to join the group. Have them commit to the challenge by making their purchase. And again, it doesn't say make your purchase, it says commit to the challenge, right? It's a very non-threatening way to say it. I make some recommendations that show that I have their best interest at heart, such as getting the extra shakes, recommending a flavor. Again, chocolate is the #1 flavor. So you can start your customers out on the non-vegan chocolate. That's your best bet. The highest has the least return rate. So my recommendation is always that one, no matter what your personal favorite is. And then I get them excited. Just tell them to get excited about what we're doing. Again, just 3 short steps. At this point, we've gone through so many messages back and forth. There's no need to draw out these long steps. They'll get more information in the challenge group. Just get them in there, have them join, and have them take some action. I do ask, reply when complete so I can confirm your discount was applied, right? Now, that doesn't actually matter because you know that if they ordered it properly, the discount is, the price is the price. But I want to be able to check. I want to make sure they got the challenge pack and not Shakeology on accident. I want to make sure they didn't order it and they accidentally had a different coach they didn't even know they had, and now it's not showing up in my back office, right? I also want to know, as we get closer, if it's coming up to that deadline to order, then we want to be able to follow up and say, you didn't get back to me. Like, did you buy it? What's going on? So that is the first of the few scripts that we're going to go over this week. This script, again, is for when someone reaches out to you, oftentimes just with a general question. Now, you can tweak this as needed if you specifically post about having a challenge group, in which case I actually will jump all the way to essentially message 3 and do a short explanation of what the challenge group is and jump into the questions right away. Because for the most part, if they're joining a challenge, they don't necessarily need to go through those first couple of steps. So understand this is possible to use these in different places, but don't jump ahead unless you actually have the information that each message was determined to gather for you. So that at the very end, when you bring it together, you have a really solid recommendation and a good reason why they should be using this program and taking Shakeology. Now, I'll teach you a little bit more on what to do with objections later, how to do what I call the takeaway. There's also another video on coach scripting when you're talking about the coach opportunity. And then we've got some scripting for when you are prospecting for your downline, as your coaches come in and you help them close sales. So this is just one of many scripts that we use on the team. I hope this one helps you guys and helps you understand a little bit more about how not to puke on those strangers as they reach out to you with questions. Have an awesome day.